just moving over into the slide deck. Yes, here I am, the opening slide of the session. Canva branding for business. That is what we will be talking about. Yesterday, we identified the application and downloaded it. And the what we see here, is the logo. The logo.
Understood.
Right now.
Yeah.
The logo of Canva. Okay. That is what we downloaded yesterday. Yes, Anjana, you've raised your hand. Anything I can help you with?
Yes, sir. I am a bit confused when you say logo, brand, the name of your company. Now, I seem to be in a hodgepodge over all this.
Okay.
Because here the tool is Canva.
Yes.
But they do have a logo in which the name is there.
Yes.
And then you call it a brand. So what is what here?
Okay. Let me explain to you. Canva as such. Okay. The way that it is spelled, the circle that you see here. Okay.
Yes.
Or the visual as such is a logo. Okay. And secondly, I mean, when you see the logo, you recall the brand. Okay. Recall the brand in the sense that Canva is not only related to this application. It has multiple other businesses also. Here we are talking about just an application, whereas the brand would talk about many other things there. Okay. So the logo is a part of the brand, if you call it. Like, for example, if you buy a Tata vehicle, okay, if you buy a Maruti vehicle, right? When you see the grill, there is that logo. That logo is there, and first things first, the picture comes to your mind that this is a Tata vehicle. You might not be knowing the model, but you would know that this is a Tata vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tata manufactures everything from salt to software as we know it.
Yes.
Okay. So, but then as soon as the name Tata strikes you, you get the bigger picture that this is a Tata, enterprise product as such. Okay. So that's why that is the difference, in between a logo and a brand. Logo is an entity of the brand itself.
Okay, basically the brand is another name for saying name.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's what I wanted. I was so confused.
No confusions. And it's very good. I like your spirit when you ask questions. Okay, get all the things clear. Okay.
I didn't want to sound stupid. But then I thought I might as well clarify.
No, always clarify. Any doubts, please. And that is my humble request to all the participants. Any doubts, please speak up.
Because thank otherwise, you. I really needed that. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay, so here we are looking at branding for a business. Okay, and how does the Canva help us, or how we can create our brand, using the Canva applications. Now, moving over some of the things, the objectives that we will be covering in this session is, number one, the importance of branding. Okay, and very essential to understand the importance of branding. Okay. The key elements of branding. What all are the elements which make up the brand, visually or otherwise? And within Canva, there is a section which is as known as the brand kit. Okay. How do we create it, and how do we use that? Okay. That is something that we will also be exploring. One thing here I would like to share, that this brand kit is if we have the basic account, this is not available. We have to subscribe to Canva, or in other words, make some payments to get this brand kit. Okay. We can get the brand kit at any time, just by making that payment, and it is everything is online, and we get access to it immediately once the payments are done. And like I was sharing in the beginning, even if we can start, if we have a basic account, we can upgrade to a subscription, and at the same time, we can offer to leave that subscription or not continue that subscription. The user has that right. In that case, all the work that we have done remains there. It's not that it is removed. It remains in the account. The only thing is that we do not get access to features which come with the paid account. Besides this, if you are hoping to learn anything else from this session, please put that in the chat box, and I would read the query and respond to it at an appropriate time. Moving ahead, just a quick question. Answers can come in through the chat or by unmuting yourself. Do you wish to know more about Brand Kit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ashaji. Really love your spirit, and hats off to you. In spite of having an illustrious career as a professor, you still are keen to learn new things every day. Really appreciate that. And your spirit also. Moving ahead, what is a brand kit? Moving just a little bit of information. When we are talking of brand kit, it is a short, easy guide to a brand's visual identity. Speaking in, like most of, like all these huge or these multinational companies. Okay. For example, just giving you, just quoting from the visual identity. We go on highways all the time. We travel on highways, and in the countries where McDonald's is present, we see that huge towering M. It's a drive-through. Mostly it is a drive-through by the side of the highway. As soon as we see that M, M is not the complete name. It's just the M, and that too in a particular style, in a particular color, and it is written there. We see that, and we know that this is a place. This is a McDonald's outlet. Similarly, any of these companies, any company, any successful business, what they do is they create a visual identity, most common of which is logo. And that logo is, as soon as we see that logo, we visualize about that company. And, if the company and its products. So that is, that is what is known as visual identity. Okay. Besides that, it is a guide, because there are various elements which go into a brand kit. So we are just going to be, the logo is a key element of that. Right? Besides that, what it does is that it is an identity and distinguishes the business entity from competitors in the industry. Like, for example, take two of them, take, say, Coca-Cola. It's a soft drink, aerated drink. Pepsi, same. They are competitors, manufacturing this and selling the same product. But Coca-Cola is written in a different way. Pepsi is written in a different way. Right? They have different colors. Now, what is it? When when anyone asks for a beverage, they say, "Can you give me a Coke?" or "Can you give me a Pepsi?" So the thing is, it is their identity also, And at the same time, it distinguishes them from their competitors. Okay. So this is also a very, a key in the profitability, or or probably in the reach of the business itself. And at the same time, like I said, it is a quick reference to understanding the logos, colors, fonts, and most importantly, combining all these. It is the message that represents the brand. In the sense that if we see any of the outlets, be it a food outlet, be it an automobile outlet, or an outlet which is there for a company. Okay. I'm not talking about multi-brand outlets, but an outlet which is either owned or operated for the company. There are various ways by which outlets are operated for the company, not going into that. But if you look at them, once we see them, the first thing, if it's a brick and mortar store, as we walk in, we will see that their branding, or as we call it, their plates, then the way they advertise their name, they write their name, the colors, the fonts, the symbol, everything is the same. It is homogeneous, whether, and if the size is different, if the sizes are different, the fonts and all are adjusted accordingly. Okay, it's not simple, just stretching or compressing one image. Everything is systematic there. Okay. Secondly, yes, Anjana, how can I help you? You've raised your hand.
So for the logos, when we create a logo, will we be expected to explain why this color is used, or why that symbol is used, or why is it?
I think that can be clarified by, it would be good to include that, depending on the time frame that you get to answer. It would be good to respond to that, because it shows the depth of in planning also. Okay. Not a necessity. Okay.
Thank you.
And secondly, when we see, coming back to the brand kit, the logos, the colors, the fonts. Besides this, there are also a couple, many things which go into, especially if it is a brick and mortar store. Right? For example, any kind of a written or any kind of a written document that is created, be it a flyer, be it a brochure, or be it a letterhead, a business card, it would be homogeneous. It would have the same kind of a look and feel. If it is like I said, if it is a brick and mortar store, maybe the uniform, maybe the colors that they use inside, okay, it would be uniform. Like, okay, not going very far, just on this platform itself, okay, on GetSetUp. If you see the branding there, if you enter into any of our sessions, you would see the same slide deck. Okay, you would see the same logo. You would see the same fonts there. Okay. This is branded, okay, and this is a kit. And if you would also see a similar kind of a uniform. Okay. So these are all elements which go into branding. Okay. Now, what it does is that it helps to tell the brand's story. Any brand that is created, there is a story behind it. Right? The most classic and the one which I like the most was, or rather, one of the most successful brands is Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Nothing to beat that. I mean, I admire that man. When someone like us tried various things, didn't succeed, was close to, not going into details. But after that, it was a kind of do or die kind of a situation. And from there, he started, and KFC is a multi-billion-dollar brand. And if you look at his, if you look at the logo there, you see the picture of the Colonel, not when he was a young guy, but with a beard when most probably when he started the, I don't have the detail of that, but when he started that. So those who have read about him would also, know about that. So that logo in its own self tells the story of the brand. And when there is a story behind, people definitely connect in a much better way. Now, it is generally distributed to employees and the key partners or public for all the customers and the press. The brand is not something that we create and we keep it to ourselves. No, the public has got to know it. The consumers, the end consumers, they have to know about it. Okay, so that the recall is there. Now, the purpose of a brand kit, literally going into, this was the importance. The purpose is that when anything is standardized, okay, then irrespective of the passage of time, the message does not get diluted, okay, or misrepresented, because a business is not for a day. It is here for, we create a business to and hope that we work towards it, that it lasts forever. So with the passage of time, the story or the image should not be diluted. See? Besides that, all the marketing and communications are accurate. Anything which goes out, okay, anything which goes out needs to be visually homogeneous. Right? So that is what we say, all the marketing and the communications, because communications is something which goes out to the customers also. It remains within the organization also, but it needs to be accurate and on brand, as we call it. These days, social media is used very effectively to increase sales. So the social media team, the sales associates, or customers advocates. Okay. When we say customers advocates, we are looking at, say, for example, to give you an example, if there is a customer who has been regular and he, without any kind of hitch, if they are supporting us or supporting the business by telling others, by giving us good reviews and referring our business to new people and new customers, getting us new customers. They are something like customers and advocates. So there is no harm in if you've designed a uniform, some part of the uniform could be given to them also. Or physical assets. Physical assets is a brick and mortar store. Okay. Or the signboards or billboards to begin with. It is the signboards and billboards, and if we go into details, then it is the manufacturing or the selling points. That is what is known as physical assets as such. Okay. Now, coming over, how to build a brand kit. Okay. When we are looking to build a brand kit, there are a few core elements where I will be talking just about a few of them, and especially the ones in which Canva, we can utilize Canva. Right? The few core elements is number one, foremost is a logo. Okay. The logo should be such, and it should be so very so used in such a way, so frequently and so appropriately, that if I see a piece, if I see a logo, immediately I should think of an art and Cora, or I should think of good food, and I should think of Anjana. Okay. So the logo is a very critical part. Okay. Besides that, what the logo does, okay, then it gives an opportunity to convey the brand's story in one small square or item. If we were to tell about, verbally about a brand, it would take, if not much, even if it is a start, even if we are just starting from scratch, at least about a page, or maybe, an A4 sheet, or say half an A4 sheet. But here, it is just that small piece. Right? Seeing that logo, individuals should identify the business itself. Right? Besides that, what is important is that we ensure that the logo is consistent across platforms and assets. Right? Assets means anywhere that we use it. A social media account is also an asset. A website is also an asset. A blog is also an asset. So the logo, it has to be consistent across platforms and assets, as we got it. The second element that is there is the color palette. Okay. When I do the demo, I will show that to you, as to what is, the color palette. This is majorly the colors that we use, or rather that we use for communication, be it a visual communication, or maybe it could also be internal or as well as external communication. Right? A set of colors, and we need to be consistent about that. There is no rule as to what the color palette should be like, because it all depends on what is the product and how do we want to tell that story. Right? So what it does, it sets a visual tone and language for the brand. Right? Find out colors, especially for starting entrepreneurs. What we do is we find out. There are many resources in Canva. I will share those resources in the notes, from where we can see various color palettes, as well as design them also, compile them, not design them, compile them. Right? What it does is it sets up a visual tone. Right? And anything, the visual tone in its own self, post that, if it is appealing, it has a huge impact on the brand itself. It is important to not just decide on colors, but also to note which specific shades to use. Going into slightly a little bit more into the technical aspect of this. For example, at best, what we do is when talking about colors, we talk about the Vibgyor or the 7 colors there: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. That's what. Next, a couple of more color combinations we talk of. But then, when conveying when conveying that to a second or a third person, they may not get the right color. A blue could be any blue. But the best thing is that as technology has improved, colors are they are identified in 2 ways: RBG, and the red, blue, green, because this is what makes up all the colors, as well as CYMK. I mean, you're not going into technicals, but each combination produces a different shade as such. So we got to go into details that we not only use the color, but also the shade that's there. Besides that, the third element that is there is a typography. When we are looking at typography, there are two things there. One is the font. The basic element is font. Okay. The second element that is there is that this font, we can either use the ready-made ones that are available, or we can, create our own design. Canva permits both of them. Right? Now, these, besides this going into, a brand kit, there are too many things there, but these are the core areas in which Canva helps us. And I will be doing a demo of that. I will be doing a demo of that and sharing with you as to how Canva helps us in creating or maintaining our brand kit. So questions, if any, on what I have shared can come in. I can take questions and they can come in by chat, or you can briefly unmute yourself and ask me too.
I don't know whether this is the right time, but looking at, like, suppose GetSetUp logo right now. Okay,
Yes.
that rectangle box with the color like orangish red and white and maybe blue.
Yes.
What does it symbolize when I look at it? Like, I tried to ponder over it and nothing was very, I mean, obviously, like, okay, what is it trying to tell? So, like, okay,
Yes.
and secondly, if there is something like you have intellectual property rights logo, suppose it is copied,
Yes.
let's say McDonald's M, and something like instead of M, it is shortened and made, actually it is M and not M, or it is W and which looks like M. So there could be some interesting stories. If you find time, you can share, like, okay, I mean, if it permits within this session, otherwise some other time, like, okay, yeah.
Yes. Just to tell you, Asha ji, the logo that we have, okay. I just very briefly, I will touch upon that. What you refer to as an arrow, okay. What you are referring to as an arrow is a book, okay. You look at it from all angles. I mean, you try and face it, more towards yourself. It is an open book. Okay. And even if you invert it, it would, what we call it, the look and feel of that would remain the same there. Okay. We have our brand guidelines, and it is very well explained in there. Maybe, it would, I can go on and on, much beyond it will to explain that. But hopefully on some of the other sessions, I will take that opportunity, or rather I would ask my team to, explain the logo in one of the sessions there. So, and it pertains to knowledge. I mean, our logo identifies a knowledge, okay? And there has been a lot of deep thinking gone into that. Secondly, yes, logos are copyrighted as well as patented. Okay. And there is no doubt that there is plagiarism, and people do try to copy the logos. Now, since these are legal rights, okay, these are legally covered. It depends on the geographic area also as to what kind of patency you hold. I mean, is it worldwide, or is it regional, or this and that? And there's a whole lot of legal, aspects to that. And yes, in certain countries, like especially, the countries where the copyright and patents do not hold much, you would find, most probably, as they say, of course, India is, I mean, I wouldn't want to say that, but not too far. You would find, a copyright of, or rather something, a logo very similar to that of Microsoft, but it would not be registered because it cannot be registered here. So, and very few people understand the difference between a registered and a copyrighted logo and a logo which somebody has just designed using, say, Paint or that kind of software. I can talk about that in another session. Here, of course, we would be concentrating more on Canva. Thank you for that question, Professor Saab. I really appreciate that. Okay, so going into sharing screen, and again, sharing screen from my, just a second here. Yes, Cora, you raised your hand. Anything I can help you with?
Is there any specific size to a logo? Any, how big or small a logo should be? And if you're designing it in Canva, would it automatically, pick up a standard size?
See, the logo, one of the things is that when we design, especially in the from the long-term perspective, just see to it that it's proportionate. Okay, proportionate in the sense that logo occupies some place on the surface. Like, it's not something which is hidden behind. It needs to be of it needs to be, as we call it, aesthetically placed. Normally a square or a slightly rectangular, with the height going up, is definitely a better logo. But other than that, if we design anything else, something which is too long, or too long becomes close to a tagline there. So try and avoid something like that, and we get those options in Canva. I will share that when I go into the details.
Like, do we have like a size, maybe a 1 by 1 inch or a 2 by 2? Is there any reference point as to how big or small?
We see, when combining that element, when combining a logo onto the actual place of use, that is where aesthetics come in. Maybe if we are using it on a letterhead, okay, that's why I said it needs to be. If we are using it on a letterhead, it wouldn't be that big. Okay. If we are using it on a website and if our header is big, then probably it might occupy a slightly larger area. So keep those kind of elements in mind while designing. And if you are using font within the logo itself, see to it that those fonts are thin and not the broader or those kind of fonts which get which when squeezed are become illegible. These kind of things, we have to practically look into. But otherwise, there is no size as such.
All right.
Yeah, we are finding, no, sir, L and T, if you are finding, L will be here and T will be down.
Yes.
LT will be side by side. So based on that, they do. Yeah, it needs to be, needs some planning, and then probably
Yes.
we have to decide where to assign the place, I think.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, of course, I am sharing screen from my device here. From my system here. And on the system itself, okay, one of the things is on the left-hand side, where where it is written as where the navigation menu is. Okay, if I click on that, and I go into home, projects, so on and so forth, and below that, okay, all these tools, the brand kit and the content planner is something that we get only if we subscribe to what we call it. If we subscribe to the if we have a subscription account. So I click over onto brand kit, okay, and when I click over into brand kit, this is what comes up. One of the things that is there is what we do is if we see the color palette is here. There are certain palettes that are here, and what we can do is we can add and discover palettes also. Okay. Any kind, if we want to look at, there is a whole bunch of colors there. And try, when we are selecting colors, before selecting colors, please go on to this, please go on to this combination. Because what they have done is they have, given 2 or 3 or 4 options. In a brand, we just don't use one simple color or one single color. One may be the main color, but then, if we are doing a website, for example, if you're doing a website, just one color may make it monotonous. We use 2 colors, the header may be different, the body a slightly different shade. So we can check as to, if we want the header to be, say, turquoise, then what is it that would go with turquoise? This whole palette is here. Right? Now, of course, healthy leaves, all the ones planning on healthy foods, and there is healthy leaves here also. And, a host of other options, this thing is there. We can choose. Right? We can choose any of them. And what we do is, if I just click on here, okay, and if I add something here, now, if I have to add, see, when we were talking about the color palette, we were talking about shades. Now, this is, this is the, if I look at this, if I look at what is coming up, and the color which is there within the circle, within the white circle, this is the code for that. This hashtag 388D8B. This is the code for that. Irrespective of the machine that we are using, this code, when we use this code, this same color will come up. Okay. Besides that, we have the option of adding CYMK also. Okay. And if we add that, we will get the same options here. And also to tell you, there is the slider here. If we, as we move over, you'll find this code changing. So it is a unique number. Okay. It is not the same for 2 colors. Right? That is one of the things there. Secondly, here one of the things that we can do, okay, that we can create, that we can do is if we upload our logo here. Okay. If I upload a logo, now just allow me to go back. I will just try and do the demo here. Okay. What I do is this is the logo, and let me undo something and see if okay, let me change the background of the logo. Let me go into photos and let me use this. Okay. And I save it. Okay. And this logo, what I will do is I will download this logo. Okay. And I will download this logo. It's downloaded. And going back into the into the brand kit, what I do is I add a brand. Okay. And from here, from my system, since I'm doing it on my system, I will do it from here. I go into the file location, and from here, I upload the logo. Okay. Now this logo has come up here. Okay. What it does, as we upload the this logo, it gives me the options, colors from Smart Skills. Right? If you see, if you check on the logo there, okay, let me refresh. And if you check on the colors there, it is, now this was the logo. Okay, I will open the file. This was the logo. Can you see what I had uploaded? The logo. Now it picked up the black color, it picked up the green color, and it's tried to suggest a color there. Okay. So not necessary that you go in there and try and pick up the colors. First, go into the resources that are there. Okay. Secondly, what we can do from here. Okay. What we can do from here is, the color palette is here. The brand fonts. Okay. There are certain text styles. When we use text, there are headings, there are subheadings, and there are the body text. So when, say for example, if I'm using this heading, wherever I need to use the heading, if I click on this, headings, right now it says Anton. I do a drop down from here, and all the fonts that are here, they will come up. Okay. And I don't want Anton. Let me go into, say, Bright. Okay. So what it does, it shows me, the Bright. And from here, if I go into the, this was the font type. After that, is the size. I find 24, a bit bigger font. I go on to 21. So now this is one of my brand fonts there. Subheadings, I want to use a different font. Again, I follow the same process. I go on to, the edit here, and I go into, the font size, go into 14. And then besides that, I can also make it bold, or, I can make it italics. So this way, when I'm using this, when I have created this, everywhere, if I pick up in the design, it will pick it up from the brand fonts. Yes, Anjana, you raised your hand. Anything I can help you with?
So we do not have the brand kit. So would you show the same thing at the other one, the one that we have that is free?
No, you don't have this there. You don't have this there because
I know. So would you show this in the free version?
You cannot create a brand kit in the free version.
I don't know. I'm not talking about the brand kit, sir. When we are going to, if we are going to do a logo. Okay, so this is only pertaining to the brand kit.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
So you said you need to be subscribing, right? Okay.
Yes, Ashish.
So how, expensive or inexpensive are subscriptions?
Well, not expensive in the sense that if we are looking at a 30-day period, okay, the first thing is for the first time, there is a 30-day free trial period. Okay. If that is there, then after that, a monthly subscription of, if we want just for a month, okay, then it costs $4.99. Okay. After that, that is one this thing they have. The second is they have a quarterly, subscription, okay, which comes to slightly lesser than 500 rupees, and they have an annual plan also. So we can opt and come out of it at any time without losing our.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, Cora.
So basically, you can always subscribe for a month, create all your logo, create everything, and then opt out of the plan.
One of the good things that I would say, Kara, is, first, yes, go over what I would suggest is, do all the thinking matter first. Okay. What is it that we want out of here? Okay. And, when we are into the subscription, if you need to go into the subscription mode, then at that time, extract one of the first thing is, if you have an account, if you have not used the free trial, use the free trial. But before that, think of all the things that you want to do here. Okay.
But in the free trial, will they give you the brand kit?
Yes, everything is available.
Okay.
Okay.
And you won't be able to design a logo without the brand kit?
No, you can. Logo, though you can. Logo, there is a different thing. No, this one. Say, for example, if I go into home. Okay. If I go into home, and from here, if I at the search, I just type in logos. Okay, and I go into logos, and I get all these templates here. I just hit on any one of them, and let me say in logo, and go into, say, art. Okay, and okay. Now these are all art design, logos. Just click on any one of them, and from here we can start editing it. Okay, we just click on this, and it goes into the edit mode. And once it is in the edit mode, we can do all the things that we want. Okay,
but I want to give you the colors like it does in the brand kit.
Yes, that is.
And what about the fonts, Raju? The fonts that are there in Canva, are they easily available with the printers?
Yes, they are.
Whether the names, you need to know what font you're using when you're telling a printer as well. You design everything in a particular font, and then you send it to a printer, and he says, "Sorry, I don't have this font."
Normally, they do have it, until and unless you have created your own font. Okay, that is the challenge. If you create your own font, then the printer will face that challenge there.
Okay.
Because these are all fonts, which are available, and we can get them, anywhere.
No, I did a logo for on the Canva recently, just on this for this class, after the class. But I was not sure about what fonts I've used and what colors. I just used the 2-color logo. Actually, okay, so 3-color logo.
When you are, if it is in the what you call it, if it is still on, if you have it on Canva, okay, open that logo and go and get it into the selection mode. Okay. And when you are into the selection mode, like this, I don't know how to pronounce this, but as it is selected at the top, Amsterdam 1, this is the font there. Okay. And this is the size, 44.6 as per Canva. So you can you can tell the printer that this is the logo, this is the font that I have used there.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Okay, so with that, I have already overrun by 2 minutes, and just before I sign off, sharing the last 3 slides that I normally do. And for any challenges, we still have another session to go tomorrow on Canva. So what we could do is we could begin with any questions that are there from this session. Okay. So moving ahead and going into the last 3 slides, of course, as far as this, what we did during the session, or we exchanged information, the importance of branding, the key elements of branding, and exploring the brand kit in Canva. This is what we did during this symphony, and thanking you all very much